If you are a chiropractor or you're an entrepreneur in general and you feel stuck chasing revenue, you feel stuck chasing new clients and new people inside your business, and you're trying to figure out how to fill your practice or your business, I'm going to tell you the one secret that no one tells you. It's 5 questions. It takes less than 90 seconds to go through these 5 questions. To answer them is going to take you much longer than that, but the 5 questions will literally transform your practice. If there's one thing that I know, it's that most chiros are stuck chasing revenue. They're stuck chasing marketing tactics. They're looking at how can they upgrade their Instagram? How can they upgrade their Facebook? How can they upgrade the tactics that they have inside of their business in whatever place it is? And they're trying to chase more people. They're trying to get new clients. They're trying to increase revenue, trying to increase retention. But these 5 questions are actually the key and the hack to figuring out your practice. If you are someone who is looking to turn your business upside down, to do it effortlessly, feel more excited, and ultimately create a vision for your life that supersedes anything that you ever thought was imaginable, I can guarantee you that this episode is for you, because I've implemented these exact 5 questions inside of my business. I had never heard them before. When we started to go through what was missing inside of my practice, it completely transformed everything. So, question number 1, why does my business exist? Now, what's cool about asking the question of why does my business exist is that when we get into the question, it's going to force you into a level of excitement. And so if you're a chiropractor and you say that my business exists just to give people adjustments, like, that's not really a good enough reason. If you say that your business exists just to make you money, that's really not a good enough reason. And every person that comes inside of your practice is going to know and going to feel that. And it's probably going to feel them or leave them feeling less than in terms of their experience as a client or a patient inside of your practice. So asking the question, why does my business exist? Like, truly, what is it there for? Yes, it's there to make money. But for us, a big part of this is helping employees that we have inside of our practice grow in their own lifestyles as well, to allow people to achieve a certain level of potential that they may not have ever even known was in them, but we all know it's within them because that's what God gave them. So why does your business exist? That's the first question. Question number 2 is this, is that what promises do we make the people who we serve? What promises do we make the people who we serve? And the promises should be something outside of, we just promise to give the best chiropractic adjustments. Like, that can be part of it, but really starting to look at what promises do we make? Now, there's a key in these questions, and I have to share it with you before we go to question number 3. And the key is this, is that these are meant for you to use internally inside of your business. They are not meant for you to share on your website or publicly or post them up on a wall inside of your practice. They should literally be something that internally as a team, you and yourself, you start to have this vision, you start to create it, you start to grow it, you start to build it, and just watch what happens. Question number 3, how are we different from anybody else inside of our community? One of the things that I see oftentimes is that people discredit themselves or they short sell themselves and they say, you know what, we're not really that different from anybody else in our community. And if that were true, then people wouldn't show up to you. Like, you have something special, you have something unique, you have something powerful, you have something valuable within you that God gave you that God didn't give anybody else inside of their practices. How are you different? And I can guarantee that you are. It might be different by technique. It might be different in the way that you serve people. It might be different in the way that you greet people or your systems or your processes. But there are things about your practice that are starkly different. And then what happens as a result of answering this question is that you never have competition because you know that you're different. Question number 4, big, powerful question. This is actually the question that led me to the place where I realized that I don't know what I don't know about my business. And arguably, it's not the first question on the list, but it's arguably the most important question on the list, is what problem does your business solve for people? And I see time and time again when chiropractors actually don't know what problem they solve for people. And I would be of the persuasion, you may disagree with me, and that is okay, but if you say that you're just helping people get out of pain, you're not setting yourself apart from other people in your area, because we know that there is so much more that chiropractic is capable of. And I'll use the example from my practice. We talk about 4 P's inside of our office. We talk about posture, we talk about presence, productivity, and profit. And those are the problems we're solving for people. We're helping people solve their issue of poor posture that is leading to less presence that is leading to less productivity and ultimately more profit. And yes, we work with people on making money, but it's not about making money. It's about profiting from life experiences and enjoying life full out. So the biggest problem that we solve for people is helping them identify where's their brain in deficit so that they can have more of the 4 Ps: posture, presence, productivity, and profit. So for you, again, my question is what problem does your business solve for people? And the interesting part about it is that if you can start to figure out what problems you solve, you'll know how to talk to your ideal customer, ideal client, ideal patient, whatever you want to call them, so that they hear you when you speak. So it's not just a bunch of talking, but they actually can relate to you. They can actually feel super duper connected to you. So what problem does your business solve? Very, very important question. Last question, and my favorite question, is what are we world class at? And I love to talk about this. I love to think about this because what it does for me is it actually pushes the envelope. It pushes us forward. And if we're not world class at something, then we're kind of, in my opinion, falling by the wayside. So we continue to ask the question, what are we world class at? What are we world class at? I had a realization yesterday. We had someone shadowing our office. This is a student who could potentially become a chiropractor one day if he so chooses. And he was just fascinated by the message that we're sharing, by the way that we get results with people inside of our practice. And not only the way we get results with people inside of our office, but what we're doing in the way that we're measuring the brain that he's literally never seen before. And most people, quite frankly, haven't. And so I don't share that to brag about us necessarily, but I do share it to bring up something important, is that I realize one of the things that we are world class at is bringing people value and knowledge about the way that God designed their bodies and empowering them to make decisions that are in line with the way that God designed our bodies. And so it's kind of a unique approach, and no one's ever really done it before in a way that I think that we have. And so that's one of the things that I would say we're world class at. So for you, what are you world class at inside your business? Because if there's one thing I know, if you don't feel world class, you're probably not passionate about it. If you don't feel world class, then you're probably not going to continue pursue education to make yourself even better. And there's someone coming after you. There's someone trying to take your market share in whatever market that you're in. And the idea, again, is that you get so crystal clear on these 5 questions that you become unaffected by what anyone else is doing. It really gets down to a question or the conversation of identity. And who did God call you to be? And build your business in a way that is so unique that no one could ever copycat it. No one could ever steal it. No one could ever replicate it, because you are amazing. And then what you can do is you can take those systems and you can start to implement them with your team. So here's the cool part. If we zoom back out and we talk about the 5 questions, why does my business exist? What are the promises that we make to our clients? How are we different from everybody else? What problem does our business solve? And what are we world class at? If we take those 5 questions and we start to figure them out and answer them with our team in the context of our businesses, what you will get is you will get a crystal clear vision that is going to attract more people to you. If you have a crystal clear vision and your team's on board with what the vision is, you know what a win and what a loss is, everyone starts moving in the same direction. It creates more cohesiveness in the team. It creates a better culture. It creates more excitement. It creates more fulfillment. And ultimately what it does is it sets you apart, because like I said, 90% of business owners have no idea what the answers are to these questions. So here's my call for you. If you're somebody who's struggling and trying to figure out, what's my calling in my practice? What's my God-given identity in my business? How can I continue to grow, but I don't want to do the chase and I don't want to do what everybody else has done? The answer is really simple. Is what we do every single day inside of the Profitable Chiro Network is I help chiros and other business owners walk through these questions and answer them in a level of specificity that is unheard of, to get crystal clear vision so that, like I said in the beginning, you can completely transform your entire business. If you're interested in learning more, all you got to do is follow me on Instagram and message me, say, hey, I was listening to this podcast and I would love more info. Would love to have a conversation with you. If you got some value out of this, if you could share it up with somebody who needs to hear it, this is how we get this message in the hands of more people. These questions will transform your life the way that they did mine, the way that they did my teams, the way that they have my practices, and ultimately the people that we get to take care of. So share it up. Comment, ask questions if you have them, message me and follow me on Instagram. And I love you guys so much. We will come at you next week. Peace.